Hello, everybody. This is Adam, aka Catatainment. If you can thank Karma, she had the idea. She wanted to know a little bit about Normie, aka Norman. Because the last time I did a channel members only post, I had a couple of pictures of some cats that are currently alive, and then also Normie here. Normie passed away, unfortunately, back in 2021, late December, around the Christmas time of 2021. And she wanted to know a little bit more about his backstory, where he came from, how we got him, all that stuff. So Norman was born in 2011, and I used to work in an animal hospital called Magnolia Animal Hospital. And the owner who lived down in Florida, John was his name, he found this cat, this little cute little fuzzball, Norman, who was a little kitten. Norman was part of a feral colony. So they captured him. They wound up doxing his ear, which is just like clipping his ear, just to tag him, like, hey, he's been spayed or he's been neutered, TNR basically, trapped, neutered, and released. John, though, and his family fell in love with him, and they had him for a few years down in Florida. Unfortunately for him, but fortunately for us, um, his wife became allergic to Norman or to cats in general. I don't quite remember. So he brought him up to the animal hospital that he owned where I was working at, Magnolia, and he became basically like a hospital cat. They always had him up for adoption. They had him up in the cage, like up front. So when people came in, they could look at him. They could say, hi, my name is Norman on a placard and, take me home. I'm cute, adorable. Nobody ever did there. So as I was winding up my time working in Magnolia Animal Hospital on the weekends mostly, I asked John and one of the vets, like, could I try taking Normie home? And they said, absolutely, give it a try. We know that you're great with cats, so let's see how it goes. Long story short with that, Norman came in, everybody was good to him. He adjusted very well. Of course, Yoda and Max, the two other boys, the two other boy kitties, I mean, they were kind of buddies all the time. One of the cool things about Norman, even though he wasn't really a cuddly kitty, he had like a little nodule on his head that he liked being rubbed. That was kind of his spot. So as you can see in some of these photos, he was a good boy. Now, unfortunately, in 2021, in October of 2021, we noticed that Norman was starting to have some breathing issues. We took him into the vet and they did an ultrasound after they did some blood work. And it turns out he had congestive heart failure caused by hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. That's a word. That's a mouthful. Basically, it's a thickening of the heart muscle. So fluids were building up in his lungs and his hearts. We gave him meds for about a month and a half or so. Things were slightly improving. He had a little bit more energy to him, but still, it was tough. Unfortunately, he took a downhill quickly a couple of weeks into December, and we took him into an emergency clinic, and they did an X-ray. They did a ultrasound. No, they just did an X-ray on him, and essentially, they were telling us that his lungs and heart were just full of fluid, and that the best thing were to for him was going to put him down. It wasn't an easy decision, but it's the best decision that was for him, even though it was hard for us. And it's one of those things where, when the time comes, you have to do what's best for the cat and what's best for your beloved animal. Now, we miss Norman all the time. He was a beautiful, beautiful baby boy. He was about 10 years old when he passed away. And that's why when we got Tang, that's one of the reasons I think on why we wound up adopting Tang, who most people know, this little goofball, this little orange tabby here. We needed a little bit of color in our lives again, a little bit of orange, beautiful color. So that's my story. I appreciate you watching and listening. If anybody has any video that they want me to do in the future, maybe about other cats that have passed on, know a little bit more about them, or just anything else in particular, please let me know. I appreciate, obviously, you being channel members. You do so much. You help out so much being channel members. I appreciate it all so much. And until then, God bless, take care, and goodbye.